This is Mid-Atlantic weather. Today is Monday, September 26, 2016. Should be an interesting week. Finally going to break some of the dry trend for some of us. Others have seen exceedingly large amounts of rain in the last week, so they need no more. But let's get to talking. Thought I'd start off with the forecast map prepared by the National Weather Service's Weather Prediction Center. So what you're seeing is there's a warm front here along the East Coast and a low here in the southeast. This warm front is going to approach us today. It's going to be a little bit of overrunning. We're seeing it already with all the cloudiness. And once this kind of comes through with the front, we should see some rain overnight. Some areas could see a good amount, maybe half an inch to an inch, depending on exactly where things set up. Along the eastern areas, there could be a lot more moisture available, and there could be the 1 to 2 inch areas. And areas many of which have seen too much rain, so it's not the best. That's overnight, tonight, and then that should clear tomorrow. So here's what we're seeing today. As I mentioned, the warm front, and this high is on its way out, which causes all the good weather, but it's also bringing easterly flow, so it's helping pump some of the moisture out. And then that comes through, as I mentioned. Front's also approaching, so rain increases over the night. There could even be some thunderstorms, as indicated by this red hatched area here. And then we see that move on through today and tonight into tomorrow, and then kind of settle towards the southeast, and then it kind of gets a little bit hung up here because of another wave of low pressure is going in. This other low pressure system here is going to be our next weather maker. This is going to come out, and we're going to see it kind of park somewhere in this region, and there's a lot of uncertainty of exactly what it does for the rest of the week. All right, so as I mentioned, so now we're at day 3 here, and that upper level low system here is moving out to the west, and it's hanging up a little bit with the front that's coming through that got hung up here along the east coast. They're kind of converging to provide moisture, so we should see an increase in clouds on Wednesday and then even more rain on Wednesday night into Thursday. So we'll move forward. So now here's where they kind of get all elongated and aligned up here together. What happens is going to be a little bit of a question. Somewhere moisture is going to set up, some axis of moisture. And right now it looks like it's areas along and east of 995, up northern Virginia, up in the northeast. So that's less likely that maybe southeastern Virginia would be that jackpot. But still, 1 to 3 inches of rain this week on top of very saturated ground in the southeast is going to be bad. Whereas areas up here in northern Virginia and maybe western Maryland in this area are really, really dry. So whereas there's been plenty of rain from the southeastern part of Virginia, the northwestern part is still pretty dry. Happens to be where I live. So you see that this is taking a long time to get out of here. You just see a lot of interactions of this upper level low and other kind of little pieces of impulse of energy moving around it. And it's having a hard time leaving. Looks like finally we'll get out of here for the weekend, for Saturday into Sunday. I'm questioning Saturday's ability to totally clear out, but by Sunday definitely will clear out. Temperatures will remain pretty cool. I mean, in the low 70s to mid and upper 70s, depending on exactly where you are. But I mean, very typical this time of year as far as temps. Nothing too overly cool or too warm. Now, there is a chance that after tonight's rain and overnight Tuesday into Tuesday and Wednesday, we actually get pretty cool. Actually, this is Friday. I'm sorry. I believe I'm showing the wrong map. Let's see. Yeah, this is actually Tuesday night into Wednesday. So we see temperatures in the 40s possible for areas along the immediate Piedmont into the low 50s further east. So this will be one of the cooler nights of the week and actually the season so far. Friday also has a chance it will be at least again down in the low 50s, depending on the amount of moisture really in the area. Personally, is what I think. So that's kind of what we see setting up for the week. Although we're in a cooler pattern, we're not in a colder than normal pattern. This is a long-term outlook for the 6 to 10 day period. Still showing above normal temperatures here in the east with a ridge, and the west coast showing a trough. Remember, above normal, a little bit above normal isn't too bad this time of year. Maybe mid upper 70s to lower 80s, not the crazy heat that we saw even last week. That was way above normal. And a really good chance of that heat continuing even into the 8 to 14 day period. The bad news is that we stay dry. Now, that's not all bad news. I know southeastern Virginia needs to dry out, but a lot of areas, like I said, in the western part of the state are still pretty dry. And areas, obviously, in New England have been very dry and plagued with drought this year. So rain is needed. This is a 6 to 10. And even the 8 to 14 day shows this area as below normal or equal normal. Now, what we got to watch out for is in the long range, a little bit of a setup that maybe the East Coast gets some tropical action. And, well, it hasn't panned out very well for parts of the region. So that is definitely something to watch. From a precipitation standpoint, there's some pretty crazy setups too where we could get a trough along the East Coast and maybe a low riding up it, but we'll see. Anyway, that's it for now, and hopefully I can get back into regular updates. Have a good one.